Ghosted sees Apple TV Plus take their shot at a big, goofy, star-driven rom-com led by Knives Out co-stars Chris Evans and Ana de Armas, with Dexter Fletcher directing off a script by Rhett Reese, Paul Wernick, Chris McKenna, and Eric Summers. It's currently got the record for the most watched opening debut in Apple TV Plus history. So the question is, does it deserve it? And the answer is no, it does not. The movie sees Chris Evans Cole have a meet cute with the Armas Sadie at the farmer's market where he works, where he chastises her for not caring enough about a houseplant that she was looking to buy. Their sexual tension is undeniable, though. Well, that's what the script says, at least. Their chemistry may be a little bit lacking. And they quickly decide to go on a successful impromptu date, after which, though, Sadie seems to disappear, giving the movie its title. I'll leave what happens there from as a surprise for anyone who hasn't seen any of the trailer or anything. But if you haven't seen it yet, let's just say that it's a swing. I did manage myself to avoid seeing any promo that gave the game away for this. And what happened next is such a hard left turn that it almost made me instantly switch off instantly, which isn't something I'd ever do generally, but the eye rolling and cringe factor was so strong for this. This was a left turn as extreme as From Dusk Till Dawn, in that there's a movie that it was before the twist, and then there's the movie afterwards, with the only difference being that with Dusk Till Dawn, it's actually a good movie. Seriously, for anyone watching on socials, this was my face for the entire movie. For anyone listening who didn't get to see that, let's just say I was not impressed. Chris Evans is woefully miscast as a needy, awkward guy. He is literally one of the most attractive, naturally confident men on the planet. This feels like he actually lost a bet or was dared to give it a go to see if he could pull it off. And if that was the case, then I can say that he lost. And he wasn't even the most miscast lead character. And I'm not lying when I say this, but as I watched it, I thought to myself, Ana de Armas is a lot of positive things, but she's no Scarlett Johansson when it comes to blending kind of kick-ass action with naturally firing off zingers. And turns out this was originally scripted as an Avengers fanfic rather than as a Knives Out fanfic, but ScarJo had to pull out due to a conflict, quote unquote, so she basically ghosted and was much better off for that. It was an absolute pro move because, like I said, I have a lot of time for Ana de Armas and a lot of goodwill for her, because I think, to be honest, she's got a lot of talent, but she also got dealt a shit hand playing Marilyn Monroe in Blonde, perhaps believing that she was going to be competing for Oscar glory while not actually realizing that the movie she was starring in was one of the most tasteless, cruel, and creepy mainstream projects that's been released in recent memory. It's clear from the promise that she's shown in Blonde and Knives Out that she has a classic lead role in her. Unfortunately, this is not it. She felt unnatural and forced in the role that Johansson was correct to ghost. Adrian Brody starred too as the villain in a type of role that, frankly, I thought he'd outgrown. Aside from also being caught in the web that was Blonde, he's been fairly spotless in sticking to Wes Anderson movies and prestige HBO roles recently, but comically French bad guy Levesque was beneath him, and it was disappointing to see, frankly. This is a movie that I expect Netflix to waste money on, not Apple, who've got a Best Picture to their name and have developed a rep for finely curated original content. And even their comedies, whether it's TV or movies, tend to be thoughtful and have a level of depth to them. This is expensive, with loads of obscene money thrown at the screen and lavish location switches, because I think producers that get that streamer money these days just start ticking off destinations on their bucket lists because they can and because they're having the money thrown at them. You can't help to feel that had it stuck to the movie that it originally made itself out to be, it could have been twice as good and 10 times cheaper, which still would have been a pretty bad movie, but would have made me a lot less angry. As it is, I don't know what this movie was trying to be about. It had no relatable core and had zero social commentary, which is kind of criminal for a movie that claims to be about ghosting even in the title. It has nothing to do with ghosting by the end of it. That is not the premise of the movie. The only thing you should do, and the only way I can kind of tie it all together, is to say, ghost this movie. You deserve a movie that treats you better.